Hi everyone. Just like the title said, I've been in my family's new house alone for a few weeks now. My family moved here about 3 weeks ago. It's a really cool house. It's pretty spacious for where it's at. It's got cool features like super nice Wi-Fi, a pool with a slide, and a door system with a passcode lock. It's by far the coolest house I've ever lived in. Anyways, I haven't had a lot of irrational fear in my life. I believe in ghosts and spirits, but I've never had a first-hand encounters with them. I think most stories people tell aren't real, and I wonder if mine is. I don't know if it is, but I figured I would share some details. The first night I got here, I had to take a 5-hour flight, so I was pretty tired by the time I got home. When I got to the new house, I looked around for a little bit, called my dad. He told me which one was my room, and I came in and went to sleep. I woke up at like 3 a.m. with my door wide open and lights on all over the house. I was pretty sure I had turned at least some of the lights off, so I was kind of anxious, but I also figured it could have been just my mind making it up. I got up, turned off the hallway light, closed the door, and turned off the light in my room. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't go all around the house because I'm a wuss. The next day I had no problems. I bought a pizza and chilled out by the pool. I was loving living in this mini mansion all by myself. A few more days went by, and one night I was watching Moon Knight in my living room when I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up naturally at about 2 a.m. on the recliner chair. The lights were off this time, rather than on, and I knew I had left them on. I sat there for a moment and then realized there was something moving in the kitchen. I watched in terror as I saw a bald man walking across the kitchen. He had an abnormally large head, almost like a light bulb, with his grinning smile. The room was illuminated only by the glass screen door to the right of the kitchen. He just started walking back and forth through my kitchen. My heart was pounding. My phone was dead because I fell asleep and I just stared, holding my breath, holding myself completely still, doing my best to hold back my shivers. He kept walking back and forth, opening drawers. He did this for about 10 minutes until he looked over at me and then walked out of the house. When he left, I sprinted upstairs and looked outside, only to see nothing. I figured it was a dream. I went downstairs and checked the door. Yep, the automatic lock is good. There is no way anyone could have gotten in or out. At midnight, my passcode lock refuses entry, and you have to have the physical key to get in. I chalked it up to a hallucination and went to bed. The next night, I had been playing some video games online with a buddy of mine. We were having fun until I walked down at about 11 p.m. only to see the front door wide open. I had left earlier to go get some food, but I remember closing it when I came home. I was unnerved by this, but still thought not a lot of it. I went to sleep at about 11 p.m. that night. I was sleeping normally until I woke up at 3 a.m. again to see the lights on outside my room. I swore I had turned them off. I heard footsteps outside, walking up and down my hallway. I sat in horror again, laying in my bed, trying not to make a noise. I had thought maybe someone had really gotten into my house when I left the door open. However, the lights turned off, and nobody left the house because I would have heard it out the window, so once again, I figured it was just my mind playing tricks on me. This brings us to the last night. Well, more like this morning. Last night I went out to get food again. When I left my house, I remember closing the door and turning the lock on. I heard a click and I left. I ended up going to Five Guys, which, by the way, guys, way too expensive for not very good food. Anyways, when I got home, I was mortified to see the door wide open. This time, I was highly scared. I snuck into my house, closed the door, and locked it. I went into my kitchen and grabbed one of those steak carving forks as a weapon and went through my house. I checked each room, turned on all the lights, and made sure no one could get out. I called my dad. No good. He didn't pick up. He is in New York, so he was already asleep. I hung out and waited for a while and figured I was just crazy again. I went upstairs, and after an hour on my phone, I fell asleep. This morning I woke up in a rush and saw the man in my doorway staring at me, only to sprint away when I got up to chase him. I got up and grabbed the steak fork again and ran after him down the hall for there to be nothing there. This is what prompted me to write this. I saw him in broad daylight and he responded to me following him and threatening him. I figure he is not real, something my mind is making up because I'm here alone. But has anyone had hallucinations like this? What do I do to stop having these? So, we're talking about a male in his early 20s. He has already checked for carbon monoxide meters and everything showing fine. So, yay, that's a good thing. Hopefully, it is not hallucinations, but at the same time, it's a bit scary. So, I wonder, of course, like family stuff, but getting in touch with family or friends and having someone to come in the house and be in the same space would be great. To not be alone, to not have like stress and all that tension in your space would be good. Another thing possible to do, and of course, tons of people mentioned that in the comments and Reddit, is that hey, it would be great to have some powder, like even flour on the floor, and make sure like it's if it's a physical person, you're going to leave a footprint or something. If it's not, and you still see the lights and doors opening up and the bald smiling man, then that's something to look into. A lot of people do experience sleep paralysis, and it works similar to hallucination where people will see all kinds of weird stuff. Physical body cannot move, but your mind and visuals will be just crazy as fuck. Like not to everyone, but some people will definitely see something creepy. The guy in the comments mentioned that he has great visuals, so that makes me wonder, like, people with great visuals do have an ability to see a bit beyond a human world, but can this guy is like, can he tune in? Can he see more? Is that like a spirit, a ghost, some other being in his space, or could it be an intruder? Could it be someone else? So like first things first, for safety, just like getting someone in the space is very important. Maybe calling police. Like of course, like it's always unpleasant, but for safety, it's a very good thing to do. Another thing is having cameras. If you can afford it, put up some cameras. I have worked with plenty of people who have had paranormal stuff happening, and the moment they put up cameras, it's like it stopped. So it's a weird thing, but maybe some beings don't want to be seen, and like that's something to have a chat with the family, make sure you have your space secured. But other than that, if it would be a spirit, if it would be another being that is maybe not of this world, not physical, then trying, I think, to be in your sovereign space and proclaim that this being cannot be here in your house. But I mean, like, you you play video games. So this person, like this male in like early 20s that has wrote the whole experience, he's playing video games, and I would just look at one of the characters he has played as that makes him feel like strong. He has seen some heroes or beings in video games that are like strong and no one can harm them, and like they just hold their ground. So kind of like connecting to that essence, like, hey, that would be me. I'm the warrior. I'm going to protect my space. When you connect that strength, you just say like, hey, if there's anyone in my space or in this house, I forbid you from being here. This is my space now, and no one is welcome unless I allow you. So it's kind of like something between those lines, worded however you want, but it's like proclaiming that space for yourself is good, and having this like sovereign, strong energy really helps. Another thing, try to communicate with this being, and it's scary for some people, but since you saw him in broad daylight, I would try, like, like telepathically, you might pick it up. You might ask a question like, hey, why are you here? What are you doing? Of course, you wouldn't want to summon it and see it right in front of you. It would freak you out, probably. But just trying to have a chat and to see what the hell's going on. Why is he there? Does he like stays and lingers because it maybe used to be something connected to him? Maybe that person lived there or not. So you want to like find out their needs and see if you can be curious enough to ask plenty of questions to find out what their needs are so that you could satisfy them. Whether, like, use your imagination. Like some people in the comments wrote, like, is it possibly a tulpa? Maybe. But at the same time, you don't want anyone negative in your space. So which is why, proclaiming that this is your space, not allowing anyone in, kind of setting your own rules for your own kingdom. Your home is your castle, And at the same time, you can even imagine having a guardian protecting you. Like there's a lot of variations, but like number one thing is like make sure you have someone in your house with you as well. That's human, that's a friendly person that's gonna help you out if anything. Police, maybe, yes. Cameras would be a must in my eyes, and possibly some powder and stuff to see like physical or not. And from then on you can decide. But other than that, waking up at 3 a.m., if I remember correctly, it has to do with your kidneys and liver. So check out your diet and your body and how you're doing so that maybe you could do a little bit of detox. That's a maybe. And of course, there are tons of things that could be affecting you. So again, I'm just wondering, this is like interesting. I've kind of stepping out of my comfort zone, but if you people are interested in like, hey, might watch like, for those that are watching my channel anyway, if this is the format you like we can dig deeper into it. And hey, feel free to share your thoughts or just go into the subreddit. I'm gonna leave the link of where I found this, and you can read for yourself. Maybe leave a comment. Maybe get in touch with the person. And if you had something similar, share your story below. So that being said, see you next time. Bye bye.